Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Pregame Show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Blaze, Jesse, Rudo coming at you live as the real live us is on the party bus, I guess, not live. We're riding the party bus having a great time. There we go.
Pre-recorded.
Not live at all, in fact.
TV magic.
Avs taking on the Carolina Hurricanes in the battle of the forces of nature.
I do always love that.
It is fun. It is definitely
Twice
fun.
a year.
Or a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
They've got a few nicknames.
How the Avs haven't started doing the snow surge is beyond me. All right, needs to happen.
The snow surge.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
So I'm assuming you're a big fan of the Storm surge.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
good. I like it.
Even when you win 12-2, you should be dancing on the other team's
Would
grave.
you play the Red Wings? Jeez.
Or Kings.
Look, double digits, baby. Let's go.
3 times in a year. That has to be like a modern era record.
What's that?
For sure. The Red Wings have given up double-digit goals 3 times this year.
Even the 48-point Avs only did it once. Like,
It's so crazy, too, because like sometimes they look really competent, like, okay, they're about to make that next step, and then they just get blown out of the water the next night.
The 48-point thing, I think, is like my biggest gripe with the COVID-shortened season.
Yeah, because Detroit was going to go under
Detroit
that.
was going to go under it, like, significantly.
Yep.
And they got bailed out when the last 11 games got canceled. Boo.
This game, not about the Detroit Red Wings, but about the Red Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, sure.
Works.
Avs have the potential to clinch the entire West with a win tonight. Don't need help from anybody. They just need to win tonight to clinch the West. Should be... it's Carolina. You can win the West. If you can't get up for this game down the stretch, there's no game you can really get up for, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say 100%. I mean, this is one of those, kind of like check where we're at in the road.
Yeah.
And see how we factor up against a team that's kind of built like the Avalanche.
Very similar.
Play the same kind of style of hockey, have a lot of weapons that can hurt you, but have kind of went in different directions in the last few weeks, right? Canes are still winning games. I mean, they've got a great home record, but the issue that they're having right now is with special teams.
Yeah.
Penalty kill is awesome. Power play is horrible. I think they're 0 for 16 or 17 right now.
In a row, yeah.
Yeah, so that hurts, especially when you're starting to talk about going into the playoffs. Like, that's not good.
And suddenly they've got the Rangers right on their heels for the division. So, like, they do have something to play for tonight. The Avs are keeping an eye on the President's Trophy race. Like, they want to stay out ahead. So it's not the Avs aren't playing for nothing. And like you said, they're trying to clinch. I was telling you guys before we started recording, I was talking to Taves, Taves was made available today. And I asked him, like, are you guys just wanting to get to playoffs? And he was like, no, we aren't even thinking about it yet. We're focusing on these 8 games and improving, and we think we can get better. Or he said we have to get better still. So, I mean, it's not like they're looking past this, but it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
The Avs got shut out by them a few weeks ago.
A 1-0 game.
1-0 game, so they're going to want a little bit of revenge. Darcy Kemper in net, so this should be down the stretch here. You've only got a couple more games that you really kind of circle. This one, Washington.
Yep.
I really don't even count that last game of the year against Minnesota because you're
Things will be
probably going to hold
decided.
some guys out. And
Well, especially with the turnaround that it sounds like is going to happen. They're going to be sitting guys, especially if they've already clinched stuff.
Right, you win
team.
tonight, and you have very little to play for at that point. And so, I mean, this is really one of the last games that, to your point, Rudo, like that you are saying we need to get up for this one.
Yep.
This should be one.
Even to that point, I'm not going to call it load management, given that the players are sitting, but we're still seeing Bednar shuffle the deck a little bit, rotating the Johnsons once again.
Yep.
And then Ben Myers getting into his first game.
So
Darren Helm being the one sitting there. I'm not putting too much stock into it being Helm. Do y'all think it's just a rest night for him?
I really do. I don't know. I'm going to put this out there, and now this is going to be the only game he plays. But I honestly think that he'll play the last 8 games, Ben Myers, because why wouldn't you just start rotating guys out?
Yeah.
Like, there is no reason not to. The fact that you can clinch with this many games left, if it's not tonight, it's going to be the next night. If it's not the next night, it's going to be the night after that. Especially because there's scenarios, and I with Minnesota
I don't know
and
what the
St.
final
Louis
is in
going,
that
they went to
game. Yeah,
overtime,
okay,
so I don't think it's possible.
Worst case scenario, of course.
Right. But like there are scenarios where an inactive Avalanche team could end up
The
clinching,
Avs could lose out and clinch
and
pretty easily.
Right, yeah. So like there's no
It's
reason.
that time of the year.
Right. There's no reason not to get Myers in every game, see what he's got, get him a taste of NHL. He was at morning skate today, and you could tell that it's just a little like, whoa, these guys are
They can play.
next level up. Like D1 was sick, but whoa boy, these are the best of the best. So why not get him in?
Yeah.
Give guys rest. Like I'd honestly be surprised if Nathan McKinnon plays that game in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think there is no shot that you see McKinnon, probably rest McCarr.
Yeah, Ben Myers was a pretty good face-off guy in the NCAA. Obviously, that's normally something that struggles to translate right away, but it's like, cool, if there's another center, you can rotate guys up and through. Who cares? I'm not reading it into being Helm. Helm will be back in, and Abe Kubel will be out. Abe Kubel will be out, and Cogliano, whatever.
Yeah.
LOC, pick your poison there for sure.
Yeah, and Kadri.
Anyone that's banged up.
Yeah.
Right. Kadri skating today, did the full morning skate in a red no contact, so he's at least getting closer. It's just it's Helm tonight. It's EJ tonight. It'll be someone different tomorrow.
For sure.
So Ben's middle name is going to be Romer for the next 2 weeks.
For the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You play wherever it is someone else isn't playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a bummer that you don't get to see him in the postseason, like understanding the rules behind that. But
right.
What a cool way to just kind of get introduced to the team, kind of understand what's expected of you.
Yeah.
And then going into camp next year,
you
have an understanding of what's expected of you at that NHL level.
It sounds like they are going to have him around for the run. He'll be practicing, and he'll be practicing with the Black Aces and taking those morning skates and stuff. Being in the meetings, but obviously, right, he can't play. But I still think that'll be good for him to be around it.
I imagine the difference in just practices is huge. Like if you go to a team like the Devils, where their practice, everyone's going 75%. Dudes are practicing their golf swing in the locker room.
Right.
They know there's nothing left in this season for them. Compared to an Avs practice where it's like, playoffs are coming. Everything needs to be tight.
We are ramping up. Yeah. And that's something that Ben Myers talked about 2 nights ago. He did media availability before the game. He said that he felt like this was his best place to develop. That was one of his big decisions for coming to Colorado. He said, I feel like with the guys that are in place here, the coaching staff that's here, management, where they're at, this felt like where I could get the most out of the first few years of my career. And that says something because we talked about it on the show yesterday. You typically see these college free agents favor lower seeded teams that are rebuilding because there's opportunity for them. There's free spots in the lineup. Why not go get a free spot with the Arizona Coyotes, with the Philadelphia Flyers, where you're going to play? I think it says something that he's saying, I know I'm ineligible for the playoffs, but I think it's best for me to be here, and I'm going to learn the most. And Blaze, I think that's a great point, just being around a team on a playoff run, being in those meetings, being at those practices. There's just a different intensity to it, and I think it says something about him as a person.
Well, and if you look at what's going on with Colorado Avalanche, there's a lot of development. Like, you have star players, but you're getting a lot from guys that, typically in the past haven't produced as much as they're producing now.
Yep.
So as a young player, you see that the coaches have that to, basically sell to the younger players as well. As like, we can help your game. Well, and if you buy into that,
you're going to get better. Yeah. I mean, Val Nichushkin, Abe Kubel, we've seen Matt Nieto in the past.
Berkey.
Andre Burakovsky.
Yep.
We have seen them take on these, not necessarily reclamation projects, but more of say, like, this is someone who's a good player, and we think they do enough of the things that fit into our game that we can make them a great player, and they have Devon Toews
is a perfect example.
Like, they've got a track record now of doing this where we can take an established good player and make them into a great player at their position. So if you're Ben Myers, you're seeing that. Also, Alex Newhook this year along this ride they've found a way to develop a young player while contending for a President's
Even
Trophy.
beyond that, you go back a couple years and you're a college free agent. You're going, look what they did for Alex Newhook. Look what they did for Dom Toninato.
Kerfoot, yes.
Oh, Alex
I've
Kerfoot.
done that. I do that so often.
They're like very similar body types too.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Okay. The other side of this game, though, Carolina has fallen out from Florida, or rather, Florida has run away from the East, is what I should say.
Crazy.
The thing is, like, obviously Carolina wants to win their division. I get it. But the East is so brutal. If they win the East, or if they win their Metro, rather, they get the Capitals. If they're in second, they get the Penguins.
Yeah.
So there's not really a good answer for Carolina here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Three good teams are going to be out of the playoffs in round one on the Eastern side. We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Could be 4 depending on upsets and stuff.
Is home ice that important to a team like Carolina?
I think that home ice, if you go through the numbers of it, statistics say home ice isn't as important as it used to be. The splits are a lot closer.
Yeah.
But to me, home ice is kind of becoming like face-offs. Overall, is it that important? Do you have to have it? No. But situationally, when you can get those matchups, it's huge. It makes a big difference if you are Carolina in a Game 7. Now, keep in mind, they're not really at risk of losing home ice here. But you start getting into the second round. New York, I think, if they get to the second round, it's because, again, things have broken really well for them. Igor Shesterkin has stayed white hot.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be riding kind of high. And if you get into a Game 7 situation, you're Carolina, you are going to want every last little edge you can get.
Yeah.
And just being able to get those changes. And then where I do think home ice really matters is Game 1.
Yeah.
What's the saying? You're not in trouble till you lose at home. If you lose Game 1 at home, you are starting behind the eight ball.
Yeah.
You have to. You are starting off the series saying we have to go steal one on the road.
Yep.
And so I just think there are little nuances that it is still important.
I think from the coach's perspective, home ice is very valuable. I think from the player's perspective, it just depends on the team because some guys thrive on going into other people's barns and doing the upset. Like they feed off that negative energy towards them.
Well, I think part of the conversation for round one, you already kind of talked about it. We could see a pretty quick turnaround for Game 1 of round one for some of these teams. All of a sudden, say you're the Avs. You go travel to Minnesota, you play a game, you get 1 day off to come home, and then you're traveling again in theory.
Yeah, you're flying back right after the game, though, because it's a 6 o'clock game
sure,
or something like that.
You fly home, and for the Avs, they're home ice in round one no matter what, so they're fine. Right. But if you're a team that's home for a day, then you're traveling again.
Or traveling because if you're on the road,
maybe you just
are you going to stop? Yeah, are you going to stop back home for a day and then go out?
Yeah,
probably not.
I'm sure there's a couple of these teams. I guess Minnesota, Alaska. I mean, I'm sure there are a few teams who are, packing an extra bag for this trip.
I guess it's not as big of a deal though when you're talking about the East Coast because the travel is
it's
short.
But Carolina
Florida,
isn't one of those. They're teams that actually would have to travel for something like that. So definitely a bit of a factor there. I mean, I don't want to put too much stock into travel.
Right,
These are all pros. They do it their whole careers. They know what's up. But it's not nothing. I will put it that way. Okay. Let's just keep this thing rolling on. We're going with the bet that everyone in Colorado should be taking today. We're going with the Colorado parlay.
Yep.
You got Avs, Nuggets, Rockies, and Rapids.
Yep.
You can get 30-1 odds on it. So why not throw like $2 on that? And
$3 gets you 90.
Yeah, three for 90. Like insane.
I went into a couple Avs bets, and I took the saves for both goalies. I think Kemper's line was 30.5, and Anderson was 27.5.
That's hilarious. I would take that one. I'm going to go take that one after this because both of these teams are definitely
volume
over quality.
Yeah.
McKinnon first goal.
First goal, says Allie.
Allie making the birthday prediction
Yeah.
of McKinnon first goal.
Max got to do it for her birthday.
Using her birthday wish on it.
Maybe. For the party bus, are we all like, you got to take Avs money line at least for the party bus?
Yeah.
I'm
They are slight favorites in this one.
There you go.
I think they're minus 140.
Better than most of the time.
Better than you can usually get them, but
Fair
not
enough.
great.
So it should be a good game. I'm super looking forward to it. If you're at the game, I don't know how you're watching this, but if you are, come on over to section 120 during intermission or whenever. We'll all be vibing out over there, having a great time. Come say hi. Come meet us at the DNVR booth. We're giving away some sticker packs, and I think we're giving away a shirt too. So, yeah, come have a great time with us. Come say hi. Come just, I don't know. It's going to be dope. I don't know how to explain it to you. You just got to be there. Yes.
And then come back to the bar.
Post-game party when we're 100% celebrating both Avs and Nuggets wins.
Crazy.
At the bar.
Yeah.
Or if they didn't win, we'll drink away the sorrows. It'll be fine another way. So be sure to show up. We love all you. We're going to get out of here for this pregame. We will be delayed on the postgame. Obviously, we got to get back on the party bus and all of that. We will have a postgame, just might be a bit delayed, so be sure to tune into that. Until then, we will talk to you later.